This video will show you how to implement filtering across multiple dashboards. This is useful in cases where you are constructing a composite dashboard that is built from multiple smaller dashboards, or when you are hyperlinking from one dashboard to another dashboard and you want both dashboards to use the same filter. Consider first the case where you are constructing a composite dashboard. To illustrate this, first we'll create a new blank dashboard. Because this dashboard will be built from existing smaller dashboards, we don't need to select a data source here. Instead, we'll find the existing dashboards that we want to embed in the composite dashboard from the Asset panel. These smaller dashboards are called Module 1 and Module 2. We can add them into the composite dashboard by clicking and dragging. Note that both of these dashboard modules, Module 1 and Module 2, have similar filtering controls, a category selection list, and a range slider. Note, however, that the category selection list for the top module does not affect the data that's displayed in the bottom module. Likewise, the category selection list for the bottom module does not affect the data that's displayed in the top module. Similarly, the range slider for the bottom module does not affect the range that is displayed in the top module, and the range slider in the top module does not affect the data that is displayed in the bottom module. This is because these are independent modules that were created separately. However, now that we are using these two modules together in a single composite dashboard, it makes sense to have a single category selection list and a single range slider that filter both the top module and the bottom module. To do this, we need to share the filters between the two dashboard modules. To share filters between two different dashboards, you will need to separately open the two dashboards. First, let's open the dashboard called Module 1. You can do this by double-clicking on Module 1 in the Asset panel. To share the selections that the user makes in the category selection list and in the range slider, press the Options button in the toolbar. Then select the Filters tab. Note that the Filters list in the Filters tab lists all of the selection components in the dashboard as well as any input components that the dashboard has. In this case, there are no input components in this particular dashboard. To share the selections that the user makes in the selection elements, first select a selection element from the filters list, and then press Add. Provide an identifier for the selection component. For the range slider, we can provide the ID Date Selector. For the selection list, we can provide the ID Category Selector. The IDs that you specify here will be used to relate the selections that the user makes in this dashboard to selections that the user makes in other dashboards. Therefore, be sure to remember the IDs that you've entered. Press OK to save the shared filter, and then press Save to save this dashboard module. Open the Asset panel again, and follow the same procedure for Module 2. Double-click on Module 2 to open it, then press the Options button in the toolbar, and again, add the two selection components as shared filters and assign the same IDs that you assigned in the Module 1 dashboard. By assigning the same IDs for the selection components in Module 2 that you did in Module 1, you are ensuring that the selections in these selection components within Module 2 are always synchronized with the selections for these components in Module 1, and vice versa. In short, by using the same IDs for these selection components, you are sharing these filters between the two dashboards. Press Save to save the Module 2 dashboard. Return to the composite dashboard, right-click in an empty area of the dashboard, and select Refresh. This will refresh the composite dashboard with the changes that we just made to the dashboard modules. Again, make some selections in the category selection list or in one of the range sliders. Observe that the changes that you now make to selection components in the top module are reflected as well in the bottom module. Likewise, changes that you make to the selection components in the bottom module are reflected in the top module. This is because the selection components in the top and bottom modules both have the same IDs. Therefore, selections that you make in the bottom module are propagated to the top module selection components, and selections that you make in the selection components in the top module are propagated to the selection components in the bottom module. These two dashboard modules are now in sync. Because the selection lists and range sliders are always synchronized now, we can hide the selection list and range slider in one of the modules. To hide the selection list and range slider in the bottom module, again, open the bottom module for editing, right-click on the selection list and select Properties, and then disable the property called Visible in External Viewsheets. Similarly, for the range slider, right-click, select Properties, and disable the Visible in External Viewsheets property. Press Save in the toolbar to save Module 2, and return again to the composite dashboard. Again, right-click in an empty region of the dashboard and select Refresh, and observe that the selection list and the range slider for the bottom module are no longer displayed. Although they are hidden, they are still active, and choices that you make in the top module category selection list and top module range slider are still propagated to the bottom module. We have now successfully shared the filtering conditions between these two dashboard modules, and we have a functional composite dashboard. Another instance where you might need to share filters between dashboards is when you've added a hyperlink in one dashboard that targets another dashboard. For example, in this composite dashboard, we have a hyperlink on this View Details text element. To see this, preview the dashboard, and then click on the View Details text element. This opens another dashboard that contains some detailed data. Note, however, that this table contains data from all categories and all dates, not restricted to the categories and dates that the user has selected in the composite dashboard. In a case like this, we might prefer that the detail data that the user sees is restricted to the details for the selections that the user has made in the category selection list and range slider. So, for example, if the user selects only the category of office tools and only the range of July to December of 2014, when the user clicks the View Details text element to see the detailed data, they should only see the details for that specific category and that specific range. The easiest way to do this is, again, by sharing filters between this composite dashboard and the detail dashboard that we have hyperlinked to. To do this, we'll open the detail dashboard, again, by finding the dashboard in the Asset panel and double-clicking. And we'll add some selection components that we can synchronize with the selection components in the composite dashboard. First, we'll need a selection list for the category. And secondly, we'll need a range slider for the date. As you can see, these selection elements will filter the detail table. To synchronize these selection components with the selection components in the composite dashboard, again, press the Options button in the toolbar, and then assign the same IDs to these components that we have assigned already to the components in the other modules. Because we don't want these selection components to be visible in the final result, we can hide both of these selection components. Note that here we are setting the hide property rather than the visible in external viewsheets property because this detail dashboard is not being used as an external viewsheet. That is, it is not being embedded within a composite dashboard, but rather being viewed via a hyperlink on its own. These selection components are now both hidden. Save the dashboard, and then return to the composite dashboard. Preview the composite dashboard again, and again press the View Details hyperlink. In this case, we should expect to see that the detail records include only records from the category of Office Tools and from the range July to December of 2014. Verify that the dates and the categories do match the selections that we've made in the composite dashboard. There are other ways to do this type of synchronization between a parent dashboard and a drill-down dashboard when using hyperlinks. Please see the video on drilling down in grouped data for more information about these other approaches.